What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be spectating random players in Fortnite Zero Build, going over what they do well, what they could do differently, and just the state of the game right now. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below if you could buff one weapon in Chapter 6, what it would be. A buff is to like update and make the weapon better. So if you could choose to make any of the weapons better in the current loot pool, which weapon would you choose? I think mine is pretty boring. I think it would just be the Sentinel Pump, and that would change nothing about how I play because it's already my favorite shotgun. But, you know, having the pump be a little bit better would be appreciated. If I had to choose something to change the game up, I guess the Oni shotgun, you know, getting maybe an increase to its damage cap or an increase to its fire rate would be an improvement, but I don't really know. For this game, I'm going to be going Masked Meadows. It's my favorite POI on the Chapter 6 map for sure, like by far. But even this, like regardless of me just liking the POI itself, it has gotten a lot of improvements over the course of the season. So there's now a mask like spawner in the bottom part, the underground area. And that is guaranteed to spawn both a void and a fire mask. So you get, you know, the best mobility item guaranteed here. I got to try to find somebody to eliminate me. But you get the best mobility item guaranteed. There is a sword rack spawner in the center that may or may not spawn. That's up to RNG. But also with Winterfest, they added the Shack NPC at the quartz area, and he sells shockwaves. And me personally, my favorite two mobility items to carry this season are the shockwaves and the void mask. So this POI is guaranteed to give me both of those things, and that is why I enjoy it most. But even prior to those changes, it was already my favorite POI. Like, I just like this spot. And then it giving me, you know, my two favorite mobility items guaranteed is nice. The mask is under where this player is right now, so he's got to go under. I don't like how long it's taken them to do all this. There is barrels here as well, so I try to just loot this building here typically, and then just rush down into that bottom part, and then get the barrels after getting the mask. Or there's like barrels on the way that you can break as well. But the amount of time this has gone on is not good. Somebody else actually takes the mask, leaves with it. Now you don't have it. That's not great. Obviously, it's not the end of the world, but if I'm landing here, I want to get that mask as fast as I can. And this player has other objectives or quests to do. But in the messiest SMG fight of all time. This is Fortnite? We're spectating Fortnite. He's on the turtle. This turtle moves around the map. I don't really know where to go with this video at this point in time, but this turtle moves around the map, and then it does have one of these sprite statues on it, and you bring a sprite to the statue, and then it gives you loot, and it also gives you a boon corresponding to the sprite you give it. So if you give it a water sprite, you're going to get the water boon. If you give it an air sprite, you're going to get the wind boon. Personally, I rate the water boon higher, so I would want to do water sprite if I am going to, you know, give the statue a sprite. But the loot it gives you can be pretty decent as well. You see here, you get the purple gun. Purple suppressed pistol, so not the greatest purple weapon to have. It's good, but it's not really something you see a lot of people using. And then they did get a void mask from that chest as well, which is good. Not sure what this NPC sells. I've never been to the turtle, I'm not going to lie. I don't know what he's doing with this NPC. I've seen the turtle, but every time I see it, I just go past. I've never, like, landed here or chilled here. This player is sitting in a bush next to the turtle. We'll go back to the previous player. Oh, shoot. I was trying to go back to the previous player I was spectating. Maybe they were eliminated by this guy? Oh, no, they're right there. So maybe we'll be back on board with them. Hiding behind those little flower plants at this POI is terrible. They're so fragile. There's a player in front of him to his right now. This is bad. He needs to go back to his bunker ASAP. I'm pretty sure I saw movement over there. Maybe there just wasn't a player. Also, potential chance that it was an AI. Fortnite did eliminate somebody by camping in that bush. But I think I saw somebody like over here. But maybe I'm just crazy. It's possible. This player doesn't seem to know the POI. Okay, now he's going to Shack. I was going to say, like, he didn't go for that void mask and then also not coming over here to Shack. Maybe he just doesn't want mobility, but that's not ideal. Mobility is very good. And the shockwaves from him are 100 for 2. So they're pretty affordable. 300 gold for a full stack is not bad at all. I assume that Shack will be on his way after Winterfest ends, which is, you know, sad. But it is what it is. He chooses to buy a rift as well. Personally, I don't like to do that. You can travel around the map faster, but I just really like having a car. Pretty much always in zero build, but especially in chapter 6. There's a gas station here, so he can get a car there if he wants. But the amount of time saved by doing that is just not that big of a deal to me. And probably not worth the gold. But it's whatever. Like, the gold isn't that hard to get. See what he does now. My personal goal would be to go over to this radio tower spawn, fight that, and then hopefully get the medallion there. I don't know if that tower is or isn't going to spawn in this match, but that's typically what I do after looting the POI. Get the radio tower, or it's right here actually. Get the radio tower, get the medallion, and then now we're good to go. That ammo medallion, a lot of people don't rate highly. It's not the greatest thing ever. If you look at some of the medallions we had in chapter 5, like the Cerberus medallion or the Nitro medallion from Megalodon, these were medallions that improved your ability to make plays and fights, and it was harder to fight somebody that had that medallion, or even the Emma Frost medallion kind of. The ammo medallion doesn't feel that much harder to fight against, but where I really like it is whenever I'm in a situation where I need to spray out somebody's car, I need to spray out their cover, or if I'm getting the boss on island. Having the ammo regen straight into the mag is all good for those situations. There's actually not even full HP. Car just gets stolen there. I pretty much never stop in Seaport City. I don't like being here. I've never been the biggest fan of big city POIs, so I pretty much just always drive through this POI and then go about my day. That tower is there. So had they kind of gone on to that, like I said, they would, you know, potentially have a medallion and and have forecast, which is good. It shows you the next zone for the remainder of the game. Not the biggest advantage ever. It's nice to have, especially with how much mobility we have in the loot pool. It's not like it's hard to get to zone, but it's still just something nice to get, and I kind of care more about getting the medallion, and that's just kind of an objective to draw the medallion to that area, which I appreciate. Not really sure what he's doing at this point. I guess just looting. The Snoop Dogg NPC does sell a purple Sentinel pump that was also added with the Winterfest update that is over here. I want to stay on board with this player because we've spectated them for a while, but the speed they do things at, I am not satisfied with. Like even at the start of the game. Camping the train. I doubt there's anybody on there. Gonna shockwave away. Might try to capture the train, but it's very unlikely he gets the mythic AR here. So the first person to capture the train gets the mythic Hollow Twister AR. And that's great to have, right? But it's only the first person to get it. Typically, somebody will land on it, and there's these little caches next to the thing you have to capture on, and then also on the other side as well, like on the next car. And you can open them, and they're gold glowing. The fact that those have already been opened, I think, is pretty much guaranteed that somebody already looted the train. I mean, that means somebody looted the train. But if somebody looted the train, then I would imagine they captured it as well and already got the mythic AR. So I'd be very surprised if he gets a mythic AR. And that is one thing that I kind of look for. If I see the train and those little things that are right here, the cases that you can search aren't opened yet, then I would assume it hasn't been looted and maybe I could capture and get the mythic AR. But I feel like at this point in the season, most people kind of know about that. And so people are landing on it. He also didn't take the big pots. Keeping minis over big pots doesn't make sense to me. In the past, like in the earlier days of Fortnite, that made sense because you needed 5 seconds alone to get a big off. Minis were only 2.5 seconds, and while it only got you to 50, that was nice in a fight, you know, the fact that you could top off quickly. In chapter 5, they reworked the heals, and now it heals over time, and so I feel like big pots are just definitively better than minis. I don't ever want to be carrying minis. He also has medkits. Those are fine, but if you wanted to carry the minis, I would just drop the medkits for it. Either way, I think that big should have been in his inventory, even if it was only one. Might not be the biggest issue, but we'll see. I do not think this player will win the game. So when that fight was about to happen, he was just standing out in the open here, aiming in his AR. And it turns out that this Stormtrooper player couldn't do anything to him because they're getting third-partied. But just standing out in the open like this is not good. I don't understand how he's being hidden in this bush. There's no way, right? But either way, if you're about to have a mid-range fight, you want to have some sort of actual cover. And you also want to make decisions quickly. Just standing there out in the open and like making decisions very slowly like this makes me think that there's no chance this player will win the game. Maybe I just jinxed them and now they will win the game. Take 80 damage there, and that's GG's. Told you. And that's one thing that I think definitive, like whenever I make these videos, something that's just kind of like a dead giveaway to me that like it's not going to go well is like what the person does immediately when a fight happens and like how fast they make decisions. And like just standing out in the open for a prolonged period of time was not it. And then also just like making decisions slowly is very rarely it. Even if you make the wrong decision, I feel like this is why a lot of people do things like kind of, you know, slowly like that, is that they're scared of doing the wrong thing. But a lot of times just doing the wrong thing and committing to it is much better than doing nothing and just being in that no man's land area for so long. Because there was that tree there, but that tree offers very little protection. Like he could have right shoulder peeked like the little room here. Not this one, but the one that's like closer to the edge of the bridge. Could have like had that as a right shoulder peek and tried to shoot at those people. And that would have been much better than just standing out in the open. And if you are going to stand out in the open, like if I was in that situation, I'd maybe just stand out in the open, shoot at them, and then push. But either way, you don't want to be like doing nothing in the middle of the street. And that's coming from somebody who's been hit by a car in real life. Like I have no room to talk about like just being in the street for no reason, but yeah. "13 opponents remaining. The boss island, I think, will spawn over here. I've been asked how I know, and it's just like, if you play enough, you kind of learn the spawns for it, and then like the only spawn for it that's in this zone is right there, I think. So I'm pretty sure it'll be right there. This is where Snoop Dogg is, and he sells a purple pump, but this Master Chief already has one, so it's not like he needs that. Not a bad present, but not really what this guy needs. Player's not carrying shields, which is surprising. I don't know if there's just no big pots. I don't know what's going on with this game match. I like carrying shield over white health just because if you're in a fight, the shield is going to be gone first. And so you could be in a situation where maybe someone tags you like 60. You have time to heal, but if you don't have a shield item, you can't really do anything with that, you know? He ends up dropping the med kits for it. So I guess it was just like a, you know, situational. Was what it was. There's got a higher AI. 6, that's like 80 damage. I don't know what he's doing. The player went this way. Right here. Nice. Teleport again. He could shockwave onto this mountain and beam them. They're like on Snoop Dogg's house healing. Too late now, I think. This person got a chance to heal. They're right there. But that's what I like. That's an example of how much timing matters. If he reacts to that or sees that a little bit faster, then that's probably that person dead, right? But like he let that person heal, enough time pass where he was just kind of like looking around and doing nothing, and then that's, you know, changes that. He gets more beams on them, the third party. He gets more beams on them, so it's not like it's the end of the world, but like you want to end fights when you can. If you have the opportunity to eliminate somebody and just kind of let them stick around, that can often come back to bite you. I think there was more shocks in that Snoop Dogg house, but I could be wrong. Crackshot's cabin. I keep calling it Snoop Dogg's house. I'm a new gen. Nine players remain. I think this Master Chief could win this game. I'd probably just jinx them. This scares me. I would feel so exposed on this. The ammo medallion is near here. Yeah, the island one hasn't been claimed yet. Okay, I like this. I'm rooting for this player. Picks the bunkers instead of the icy feet. I personally don't like the icy feet very much, but especially getting into endgame, having those bunkers could be helpful. Don't always like carrying them, but in a situation like this, I would, where it's just like, I don't have that second mobility item that I actually want. If you had a katana here, I would take it probably, or the mask, obviously, over the bunkers. There was just an NPC down here. And so that means that somebody hired that NPC. They're around here somewhere. That's not where they're supposed to be. The player just flew. But that NPC, you know, kind of gave this location away. This player has both medallions now. See how they play this. I don't like this little tree as cover. But yeah. That player has all the medallions, so their circle is quite small. This is them. Bunker. Or a shockwave. Gets in the car. He's getting beamed though. And this is like, this is just GG's. Maybe. Oh my gosh. Heal, heal. No, no, no. Grenades. Bro, that was almost bad. He almost just died to the martyrdom grenades trying to get the loot. Just heal, please. Thank you. I'm not even sure what I wanted to say. Oh, yeah, when that car takes height on him there, like you just wanted like bunkering right away there would have been helpful, or just shockwaving. He did end up pushing into it and like got it done, but that was messy. And that is why I don't think the pickaxe trick is overpowered. Like I utilize it a lot, but I see people that like complain about it and act like it's the most OP thing ever. And I don't really get it, because you saw this Master Chief just being in that person's car almost just cost him the game, because he didn't react fast enough when the driver got out. As soon as the driver got out, Master Chief needs to get out and then shoot his gun, maybe get back in, do something. But just sitting in the car when the other person gets out to beam you is very, 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 very bad. And if you react too slow in those situations, you saw how fast he just got melted there, because like the person that gets out is probably only hitting headshots with the way the cars work. And just that slight bit of hesitation like can cost you. If you're the driver in that situation, you want to get out, shoot them, and then when they get out, you get in again. Hopefully they get back in with you, and then you can just rinse and repeat that over and over again. Use both medallions here. There's 5 players remaining. Drops his AR for the SMG. I'm not a fan of doing that, but I don't think it's the worst thing ever. Like, some people really like this gun, and it is good. I much prefer the Hollow Twister AR. That would have been bad though. They almost died to the grenade, the NPC grenades. What happens is that hired NPC that throws grenades also drops them when the NPC is gone. And I think he was like very fixated on getting the medallions, and then that kind of led to him almost getting taken out by those grenades. With the Sonas. Demon Sojo. This is somebody's hired NPC. This is a person that got away from him at Snoop Dogg's house, I believe. Because they had the Vi hired NPC, and I think that's who that is. Goes for the bigs over the splashes. I'm like iffy. It doesn't really matter to me one way or the other. It just depends what I have. You know, if I have one big and come across a full stack of splashes, sure, I'll take them. And then the inverse of that is also true. Kind of just whichever one I have more of is the one I want to use. I mean, he does have 3 bigs, so okay, that was good. Somebody just mopping up AI in the kill feed. 1v1v1. If you wanted to be on the safest side of this zone, you would want to kind of get into this as it's opening up. This would probably be a good place to be, though. But when you have these partial zones, getting into this new area first typically is an advantage. I don't know if it will be with the terrain of this zone. I think that mountain over there might be the best one to be at. And as always, when it's a 1v1v1, oftentimes the first 2 players to fight just lose. Bunker's here. Fine. The other player's behind him. He does have shockwaves, though. So if he can get this kill quickly and cleanly, that's great. But if this kill is messy, he probably needs to just get out of here, because that other person is going to be third partying. Like, the other guy already knows he's here. He already shot at him. Not shooting is good here. This is perfect. Either let it go or push it quick. That's fine. Let that go. But I like that he didn't shoot at that person right away and kind of let them walk into like a more exposed area. I think it was very good. The other player got the good spot in zone though. So the person that shot at him before from like over here rotated up to here and is now shooting him from up there. That's kind of... That's just unfortunate for the Master Chief. That was good on the person that beamed him, though. That they just recognized this guy bunkered. I'm not going to be able to do anything with this. I'll just go take the new part of zone. That is good. Master Chief isn't in a terrible spot here, though. I feel like he could shockwave in just fine. He could walk up this and then shockwave if needed and then just bunker in the new zone. And like I was kind of already saying, when it's a 1v1v1, a lot of times the first two players to fight will end up losing to the third one that isn't involved in that fight. And the fact that this Master Chief has bunkers and can kind of just stall should hopefully get him good timing. Like, he can bunker and stall, and then maybe the other two people will fight, and then he can, like, shock on that and third party it. Like, he shouldn't be able to just die from mid-range. And while somebody is shooting at him or focused on him in the event that he does have to bunker, that's, like, you want to bunker as soon as you can. That's perfect. That's a situation that the other person can maybe take advantage of. Spraying the car here is good, but you don't want to take damage. Like, what I would want to be doing here is just damaging that car without losing life myself. And then also, like, not losing awareness to the point where the other person third parties me. They're just going to pull off. But either way, I would want that car damaged or weak. That way, if the player does need to use it later, we can blow it up on them. This person over there wants to use their car. So, like, if that car is one shot and then he beams that person up there, they're probably just going to get in the car anyways out of habit. And then blowing it up on them is free 75 damage. I don't like that he hasn't looked behind himself in a while, though. Like, this fight isn't really going anywhere. Maybe they're fighting. He could shock up and then bunker, like, right here. And that'd be good. He has 6 shocks and 2 bunkers left, and it's a 1v1v1. Zone pulls back his way. But I was going to say, like, nothing has happened for a while, so I would have liked for him to, like, drop back to the bottom and, like, right shoulder peak. Look at this other area. Like that, yeah. There's one player. This isn't, like, necessary, though. You don't want to be fighting. Unless you can get the kill, but that's, like, not going to go anywhere. I don't know where the other one went. Like, right now, I would just want to know where both players are. If I can get a kill, cool. If not, that's fine, too. I just don't want to not know where somebody is. I'm assuming the unknown player was the one in the car, so they might have just dropped all the way to the bottom or something. He wants to get ahead and bunker, I think. He could have late rotated and then tried to, like, hold that one he was looking at down there and then, like, shocked ahead. He should have enough shocks. Like, he should have more than enough shockwaves to win this game, so you can kind of use one. Player katanaing on him. You want to bunker. Bunker. This person is just using the auto shotgun. This is the messiest fight ever. Holy. This is probably GG, so. As I was saying, first 2 people to fight. He's not in zone here. First 2 people to fight. The other one third parties. It's hard to not lose off that. Luckily, the way the terrain was, he doesn't get third partied immediately, but it still needed time to heal. And all his guns need to be reloaded. And that's why I don't like the precision SMG. Like, I don't know. The precision SMG could have worked fine in that situation, but I feel like the hollow twister AR also works fine. And I feel like the hollow twister AR would have been better to just, like, beam that person when they were shooting at him with the auto shotgun from, like, a mile away. He has no more bunkers. That wasted bunker is actually so detrimental here. He just saw the person. Get behind this tree and look back and shoot. I would want to be in the tree in front. That other tree's a little bit better than this one. He's dead. Alrighty then. I think he should have lost both of those fights. I maybe called it too early, but I think both those final fights were played very, 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 very poorly. From everybody involved, honestly. I think the player that got second there should have been more concerned about punishing him when he put that first bunker down, because you can hear the fight on the mountain that was happening. It's very clear both of those players probably took damage. Like, both players shot their shotgun several times. Both players, like, pretty much full shot out their spray weapons. So I think the player that got second there should have been pressuring as soon as he saw that Master Chief coming down the mountain with the bunkers, and that's why having mobility items is so good. But even in the end there, I don't think Master Chief should have won that game, or either of those final 2 fights. But GG's to them. As always, if you guys did find this video to be helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, comment down below which weapon you would buff if you could buff any weapon in Chapter 6, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.